It's been 2 weeks where we've gone on a break, but we are finally back. This is GPL Express. My name is Bill Eshun. Remember that this show is sponsored by 1xBet. Don't miss out on the free bets, on the 1x free bets promo from our program sponsor, that is 1xBet. Now, we know the main thing that is going to happen this weekend is the Super Clash. We're going to delve into that and a lot more. But first, let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we have a lot more in store for you. Welcome back from the break. Remember, this is GPL Express. And as I mentioned earlier, the main thing is the Super Clash, the game between Asante, Kotoko and Folk, which will happen on Sunday at the Babayara Sports Stadium. Ahead of this game, we put together this preview for you. Check it out. A long-standing rivalry at the Babayara Stadium will be rekindled as Asante Kotoko take on Folk on Sunday. At this point in the campaign, the two teams are in similar positions. Asante Kotoko started the season brightly and at some point were just 3 points behind league leaders BBNE Gold Stars. But a poor run of 4 straight defeats saw Prosper Ogum's side drop out of the top 4. One main issue with the club over the last few weeks has been their finishing, scoring just 10 goals in 12 games so far. They are now 7th on the log with 18 points, just one below the Phobians, who on the other hand started the season slowly, losing their first 2 games to Holy Stars and Bando Heart of Lions. After a disappointing 1-0 home defeat to BBNE Gold Stars on match day 8, which incensed cause for Abubakar Ouattara's sack, the Accra-based side have been unbeaten in their last 4 league games with 3 victories and 1 draw. They've been less prolific in front of goal, scoring 9 in 12 matches. They can, however, boast a stronger defense with just 6 goals conceded so far, compared to Kotoko's 9. But Asante Kotoko will feel slightly confident going into the game. In their last 10 GPL meetings with Folk, the Porcupines have won 4, one more than their rivals. Plus, they have Prosper Nate Ogum, a manager with a winning experience. Ogum has managed Kotoko for 80 matches, winning a league trophy and a Democracy Cup at the club. Ouattara has led Folk for 29 matches and is yet to win a trophy. Will we see another win for Kotoko, or will the Phobians spur the return party of Kotoko's faithful to the Babayara Sports Stadium? Wow. You can see all the numbers from that particular fixture between Asante Kotoko and Folk. I'm not doing this alone today. I have 2 special guests with me. One who just joined TV3 officially, Comunicado Official. That is our man, Mutala Yakubu. Mutala,
Bill.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Charlie, how has it been joining TV3?
Well, it's been nice. I just realized that there are levels to this game, and TV3, no wonder they've set a very enviable standard in the media space. I mean, I'm getting along very well. People like you, Anderson, are making life comfortable for me, but I need to work extra hard. That is what I've seen.
Most definitely. And also we have Mohammed Shaban, the GPL statistician. Mohammed Shaban, how are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. I'm sure you're gearing up for that Super Clash.
Big game.
Yeah. I know you're going to be there on Sunday, yes?
Yes, I'll be.
Of course. But, I mean, a lot of people have been talking about this. Folk, Asante Kotoko, both of them are going into this particular game on some sort of a similar trajectory. I mean, how similar have they been so far this season, Shaban?
Yes, like you've said, they have similar statistics, 12 matches, 5 wins for each side, 4 draws for Folk, 3 draws for Kotoko, and then 3 losses for Folk, 4 losses for Kumasa Asante Kotoko. So it's been similar. Kotoko scoring 10 goals, conceding 9, Folk scoring 9 goals, conceding 6. So clearly it's a similar statistics ahead of the big game. But you know, they've got something unique to prove, because I call this game a redemption game, because in 114 matches for each side in the Premier League since 1958, 38 wins for Kotoko, 38 wins for Folk, and 38 draws.
Wow. I mean, I mean, they look very, very similar. I mean, for you, I'm going to come to you, Mutala. The two teams aren't in the top four at the moment.
Yeah.
Kotoko 6th, Hartlepool 6th, Kotoko 7th. Now, people would definitely say that even though they are fighting for pride, it's definitely not really going to affect how both teams will go at the end of the season. Do you agree with that?
Well, yeah, I agree with that to a certain extent, but I'm not sure they are fighting for pride because we are even not done with the first round. And you cannot write off Hartlepool and Asante Kotoko when the Ghana Premier League is in contention. Remember that Kotoko are coming back to the Barbara Sports Stadium. It's their favorite grounds. They adopted the Obuasi Linkley Stadium for their matches. They are now coming back. So if they can go on a succession of wins, it means that they'll be back in contention. And the beauty of the Ghana Premier League is that you need about just 2 wins to catch up with the rest of the teams at the top because Baby Gold Stars, who is on top of the league, has about 23 points. Kotoko have 19 and 18 respectively. So they are still in touching distance, within touching distance. And this game is very important. Yesterday, I visited the Hartlepool training ground. I spoke with Coach Abubakar Watara, and he told me that 3 points are very important in the race for the Ghana Premier League title. Even though that is not their primary objective, they want to win this game and get into touching distance with the rest of the top 4.
Indeed, but as you mentioned, you did talk to Coach Abubakar Watara, and there's also some words from Asante Kotoko coach, that is Prosper Nate Ogum. Let's check out what they both had to say ahead of this big clash.
Yeah, I think the mentality at training with the boys, technical staff, everybody is very positive. We are very poised. Tactically, we are approaching the game based on how we've seen them play, especially in their away games. But then, if you look at games between Kotoko and Hartlepool, normally the dynamics are different. So what I want to tell you is that we are very hopeful as a technical staff, as a playing body. The players are prepared physically, tactically, psychologically. They are prepared for the game on Sunday.
The motivation is the league. We are playing new league, and we need to capitalize maximum points. It's true, Kotoko has a folk. A special game, but the objective is the same, 3 points, and the boys are motivated because we need that match to continue. You remember last season we survived. We are trying to get more points to didn't get the same pressure we have last season.
Most definitely, here are the comments from Abubakar Watara of Hartlepool and also Prosper Nate Ogum of Asante Kotoko. Now I'm going to come to you, Shaban. During the week, Asante Kotoko made a signing that people would definitely know about because he was part of the club at some point, even had a run-in with the Black Stars, Kwame Opoku. A very shocking one, a surprising one. But are you surprised with that addition from Asante Kotoko?
No, I'm not surprised because he's been training with the team with Samson Eduku, former Tamale City, and then Isaac Minta, former Aduana striker. So I'm not surprised he's signing permanently for Kotoko. But I'm looking at the angle of the pressure because, returnees usually would have to adapt with some young teams to build their confidence. If you come back to big teams, you struggle. Abednego Tete returned to Hartlepool. It was very difficult for him to play. And then you look at him moving to King Faisal to Gold Stars. He has performed very well and now at Heart of Lions. So usually it is a big challenge playing for a side that you've achieved something with. But then 2020-2021, he didn't have enough game for Kotoko. In fact, he didn't play up to the first round before he was transferred to an Algerian side. So that is also a plus for him. He scored about 6 goals for Kumasi Asante Kotoko in the Premier League. Then they felt that he will be important for other teams, and so they released him out there. He's back again in the Ghana Premier League, but we will see him from 23rd because the transfer window will be opening December 23rd, and so he will be eligible to play tomorrow in the fixture. But we expect a lot because Kotoko have scored just 10 goals this season in 12 matches. That is below belt. And so you can't rely on just Amwa. You need a lot of strikers in there to get to a lot of goals. And I think Kwame Poku will be relaxed. Then Albert Amwa will be doing the running. Then maybe two of them could get a lot of goals for Kotoko.
You talked about goals, and I'm going to come to you about that. I mean, he did mention 10 goals for Asante Kotoko. Also 9 goals for Hearts of Folk. Both teams have struggled to find the net generally this season. Is this an indication that on this particular Super Clash day, there will be a low-scoring fixture?
No, we want to see goals. For the neutrals, we want to see goals. We want to enjoy the game. So I'm hoping that we will see a lot of goals. But Hearts of Folk have been short, especially up front. The over-reliance on Hamza has not really done enough good for Coach Abubakar Ouattara. That has been Hearts of Folk's main bane. Even though they had a very slow start to the season, they dominated in most of the games that they played, but they failed to put the ball at the back of the net. So if you check their goals, I think it's Hamza who is the top scorer this season with just 3 goals in about 12 games that we've played so far. The goals have been coming from all sides of the pitch. I mean, Salim has chipped in a bit of goals. Sani has scored goals as well. But for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Amwa is doing the business for them. He scored 6 goals. Even that, Prosper Natogum believes that it's not enough. That is why they brought in Kwame Poku. And remember the year that Prosper Natogum won the league for Asante Kotoko. It was a certain Mbela who scored over 20 goals. And every time Kotoko have won the league, there's one person that stands out and scores the goals for them. So we want to see goals in this one. I'm sure we'll get about 2 goals in this game.
And you mentioned we want to see goals. Of course, the 2 main goal scorers for Asante Kotoko, Hearts of Folk. For Hearts of Folk, Kamza Issa, as you mentioned, 3 goals. For Asante Kotoko, Albert Amwa would double that goals. That's 6. Which of these 2 do you expect to really stand out in the fixture? I quite remember last season at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, we saw Mutala stand out. What do you expect from these 2?
A lot expected from these 2 strikers, especially Albert Amwa. Hearts of Folk have scored 9 goals, but in terms of goal scoring distribution, Wayo have got some goals. Salim Adams have also scored for them. Hamza has a goal. So it means that if you look at the style of play of Hearts of Folk, any of the players from the 4-1-3-2 formation, from the 3-1 attack, any of them can score. But for Kotoko, they've always adapted the 4-3-3 formation where they rely on the center forward, the arrowhead, Albert Amwa. That is a big challenge. He has got 6 goals in their 10 goals scored. One of the goals is an own goal. Emmanuel Entry have scored 1. Che Ramina have also got 1 goal for them. So in terms of goal distribution at Kotoko, it's been less. It's always Albert Amwa. But Hearts of Folk have got players who can also get them the goals in the game. But you see, last season the standard was so high for Kotoko, scoring 3-2 in the first leg, scoring 2-0 in the second leg. Dr. Prosper Natio equaling the records of Kotoko, scoring 3 goals against Hearts of Folk in 2007-2008 when their fixture ended 3-3. This time around, I'm not expecting a lot of goals, but I'm expecting win because records have shown that Hearts of Folk performance in away. Kotoko at home in the last 2 games are yet to score a goal. They've conceded 3. Hearts of Folk in their last 2 away games have scored 3 goals and have not conceded a goal. So that gives them the positive edge over Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And Hearts have lost their last 2 Premier League games against Kumasi Asante Kotoko, conceding a total of 5 goals. And that is a big challenge. One of the key challenges for Dr. Prosper Natio when it's attack Albert Amwa is that records have shown that under Dr. Prosper Natio Ogum, the only strikers that have scored for Kotoko are foreigners. And so in 6 goals scored for Dr. Prosper Natio Ogum, in 3 wins, 1 draw for Kotoko under him as Kotoko coach against Hearts of Folk, it's been Frank Etugambela, Stevie Mukwala-Desi, netting 5 goals for them. And this time they have 1 foreigner. That is a Wisdom Bassi. Can he get the goal? And so, per records and history, they must rely on the foreigner. And can Albert Amwa steal the goals for them? That will be a difficult one.
Indeed, that will be a difficult one. But let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we have a lot more in store for you. This is GPL Express. Welcome back. This is GPL Express with me, Bill Eshun. And we are still here with our guest, Mutala Yakubu, the new signing and there's also Shaban Mohammed. But I mean, we've talked a lot about the Super Clash itself, and I'm going to put both of you on the spot. Starting with you, Mutala, what will be your score predictions? Who will be the goal scorers? What do you expect?
I think Kotoko will edge this 2-1, and on the day, goalkeepers could have a big say. Asare for Asante Kotoko, that is Frederick Asare, and Benjamin Asare for Heart of Oak. They could have a say in this game, but Kotoko will edge this one 2-1.
Do you agree? 2-1?
It will be very difficult, especially when Heart of Oak have got the upper edge away game performance. Kotoko yet to score at home, they are under pressure. And Kotoko yet to score 2 goals this season at home. It will be very difficult. It's a win for the away side or a draw.
So you don't think Kotoko can break past that one?
No, it will be difficult. It will be win for away side or a draw.
A win for the away side or a draw. But of course, you do remember in the last 10 meetings between Asante Kotoko and Heart of Oak, in the GPL, Kotoko have won 4, Heart of Oak have won 3. So very, very tight one there. Can Kotoko stretch that, or can we see Heart of Oak close that gap as well? But let's talk about the other fixtures in the Ghana Premier League. Of course, the league leaders, BBN Gold Stars, are traveling to face Karela United. We also have Samatex, who are playing at home. We also have other big fixtures. But I'm going to give you guys the chance. I mean, if you're going to pick a fixture, apart from the Super Clash, to look out for, which one would you look out for, Mutala?
BBN Gold Stars. I am looking at them keenly with one eye, because I've had a lot of discussion with people within BBN Gold Stars, and they tell me that they want to win the league in memory of their former coach who passed on, that is Michael Osei. So they are eager to annex the title. And they tell me that, I mean, they've seen Mediema and other clubs like Samatex participate in Africa. They would want to be there. They are moving slowly, but surely you can see that they are getting there, especially when they play at the dance park. They've been able to make the dance park a slaughterhouse. So once you come there, they make sure that they cut off your head and get the 3 points. But they are traveling away to Karela, who have not really had a great start to the season. They've even had to change their coach. Jimmy Kobler has come in. Last season, BBN Gold Stars got the results against them, but it will be a very tricky fixture. If you can pick games, if you can pick points away from home in the Ghana Premier League, then you are surely edging closer to the title. So I'm looking at that game keenly.
Of course, BBN Gold Stars, who are currently on top of the Ghana Premier League table. There's also Accra Lions, and there's Nations FC. Accra Lions hosting Nations FC. Accra Lions struggling a bit this season, but Nations FC currently second on the log. I mean, one of the best home teams, but recently that ended. This time they are going away. They have Razak Simpson back in the side, who, you know, featured for the Black Stars and all that. I mean, are you expecting Nations FC to actually go to Accra Lions and win that game?
Accra Lions have been struggling this season. I remember one of the games they won was against Shaban, when they triumphed by 3-1. But they've not had a good season. But for Nations FC, after losing at home to Bekum Chelsea, for me, it was a surprise defeat. Was never expecting a club like Bekum Chelsea to break that record, that home jinx in 22 games without a defeat. But of course, it happened. So they will want to go all out. Like you said, Faisal Chawete is currently the top scorer of the Ghana Premier League. He would want to pounce on the weakness of Accra Lions. You know, one of the biggest challenges of Accra Lions has been their defense. They've had a lot of challenges. Even though they have Ali Mohammed, he has not got that partnership that will give them the good setup at the back. And so they are conceding. And so that is what gives Nations FC advantage. Don't forget that Nations have got 4 away wins this season, and the best away side currently in the Premier League. And so that could give them the advantage. And one of the games that will change the league table, because this weekend the fixtures is likely to change the dynamics around the league table, and that is Heart of Lions facing Samatex at Samabo. You know, Samatex lost their last home game against Young Apostles, and history, Samatex in every season loses to a newly promoted side. Last season was against Nations FC. This season was against Young Apostles. And in their last 2 Premier League games, they've lost all games. And so that puts them under a very big pressure. Then again, if you look at Heart of Lions, in their last 17 Premier League games, consecutively they've lost just once. And that was their game against Karela when they lost by a goal to 0. So Heart of Lions have not been a bad side. And in their last 5 games, they are yet to concede a goal. So playing against Samatex will be very difficult. And Samatex struggles against opponents who are very good in terms of defending. And for me, I think if Samatex fails to win that game, their coach will be under a lot of pressure.
I think irrespective of what happens at the end of the season, we need to give Bashir Hayford his flowers, because he came to a team that were almost relegated, he was able to instill confidence in the boys. Heart of Lions didn't go around spending money, bringing the big names in Ghana football to their side, but he was able to manage what he had, and he has transformed the side. Currently, they are third on the league log. And I can tell you, Akpeni are flying very high, especially when you come to the Kpando Sports Stadium. Last season, when Bashir Hayford came, they had reverted back to the Kpando Stadium. They were playing away from the Kpando Sports Stadium, and it really affected them. But once they got back to the Kpando Sports Stadium, they made sure that teams that come there do not leave with even a point, and that is what they've done brilliantly. So, Heart of Lions deserve some plaudits, and Bashir Hayford is the man.
Indeed, Bashir Hayford has done magical things with Kpando Heart of Lions. There's also Midiama, who are fourth on the table, just 2 points behind the league leaders, and they'll be going away to Vision FC. Now, remember, Midiama won the league about 2 seasons ago. I mean, have been in and around some of the best teams in the league. Are you expecting that by the end of this weekend, they could possibly move to a top 2 or basically number 1?
Midiama have bounced back from their poor form in recent games, but of course, Vision in 7 consecutive games in all competitions are winless, and they are also under pressure. And if they would want to bounce back, these are some of the fixtures they need to take advantage of, because you know on Saturday more of the attentions would be on the Super Clash, which is coming on Sunday, and so the focus will switch, and that is where Vision FC would have to work hard. Look, if they fail to win this game, they would have to now fall back to the relegation zone. And if Vision falls there as a newly promoted side, it will be very difficult for you to bounce back. It means they would have to wait for the second transfer window to get some players that can fit in. And for Midiama, their biggest challenge this season have got to do with scoring. They've brought in Diewuse Taylor, he's not getting them the goals, and Dikumi Francis not getting them the goals. They have to rely on their midfielders and their defenders to get some goals. Kamad Adini, who has scored 2 goals as a right back for them this season, will be a very difficult one for them. If Vision fails to win this game, honestly, it will be difficult for them to bounce back. But I foresee Vision causing a surprise against Midiama.
Indeed, and finally, there's this particular team that I remember visiting weeks ago. That's Legon Cities. They have Pakwesi Fabian, a manager with a lot of experience, but are currently in the relegation zone, struggling, and they will be facing Bichim. That's also a tough side.
Of course, and when Pakwesi Fabian was asked to give a message to their fans, he asked, where are the fans? The fans, Lagos City is the fans, the fans, man. I mean, and I met him at the stadium when Heart of Oak were playing one of the games, and I asked him, he told me that they do not have fans, but I mean, it's been a topsy-turvy time for Pakwesi Fabian, especially with the start that they had. A very tough start to the league campaign, but I think they turned a new leaf when they beat Kumasi Asante Kotoko. They were able to pick up some, but they are very, very difficult to break down. But it's about goal scoring. That has been their biggest bane. It has been an Achilles heel for this Legon City side. And if the transfer window opens and they can bring in 1 or 2 players who can bang in the goals for them, I see them moving further away from the relegation. So it's not been easy for Pakwesi Fabian at all, especially when you do not have enough cash to bring in players that you think can make a difference. But so far so good for him. He aims at getting the team to cement their status in the league for next season. That is all he wants, because they've had a very terrible start to the season. But at a point, they were beginning to get into their own. Let's see how things will go for them. But I see them surviving because Pakwesi Fabian is a very experienced tactician.
Most definitely. And of course, that brings an end to another exciting segment here on GPL Express with me, Bill Eshun. Remember that this program is sponsored by 1xBet. They have a 300% welcome bonus. Register at 1xbet.com.gh with the promo code FREEG1. Again, the promo code is FREEG1. Remember to visit all the Ghana Premier League centers, and also look out for that super clash between Asante Kotoko and Heart of Oak at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium in Kumasi on Sunday. That's it for now. My name is Bill Eshun. Until next time, have a great weekend.
GPL Express is brought to you by 1xBet.